Hi everyone, this is Monica from Truebly Innovations. I will show you how we do this tumbler in our convection oven. We use this same method for all our metal tumblers for sublimation and the water bottles as well, as long as they don't have any plastic parts or these plastic parts that can be completely removed. Okay, so you will need obviously your wine tumbler, which we will remove the lid from, a lint-free cloth which we'll use to clean the tumbler with, a scissor, your print, an additional piece of paper is optional, heat tape, your shrink film, which we will adhere with the heat gun, so it's proper to use a proper heat gun, and then a bowl of water. So let's start by cutting out our template. Just make sure that the wine tumblers are curved, so you need to have a curved design, and we will cut out our design. This design is a little bit bigger than the template. The bottom and the sides, I did do the design so the flowers goes over the edges of the design. I wanted to overlap at the back, which I will show you now. We will obviously just clean any dust, fingerprints of the tumbler, and then so as you will see on the one side, I'm cutting against the design as I want to layer that at the bottom and layer the other side over that so that the leaves will overlap when they print. So for the one side, I need to, which is on the right side in the film here, I just cut close to the design where I know, where I can see it's overlapping. So that's just what I'm checking. Once I'm happy with the layout and the cut, I will then just paste that down. I will also just make sure that I tape the hole off the top because we don't want any ink to escape into the air so that it fades away. We want all the ink when it gases out that it transfers onto the tumbler. So I usually start at the back of the seam. I will start at the opposite side. On the one side, work my way in, and then on the other side, work my way in. As this design is larger than the standard template that you get for the wine tumbler, I made the flowers, the design I did make, so the flowers, some of the leaves drop down over the curve. Your template stops basically just before the tumbler curves. The templates, I did paste a link in the description where you can download the template for the wine tumbler as well. This is the tapered template because the wine tumbler does taper to the top. So what I just make sure is I paste down everywhere where the design is printed on the paper. I want to make sure that is completely flat on the tumbler. So I will cut slits in if necessary and then just rub it down with my finger after applying the heat tape. If you're using the standard template and your design fits within your template, you will then just cut that out, wrap that around your tumbler and paste that down. What I do is I will make sure the seam is taped and rub that down, and then as well as the top and the bottom, because I want the design to be as close to the tumbler as possible. And this one, yeah, is larger. On the leaves I've flit out so it goes over the edges of the sides and the bottom of the standard template. So that is just why I need to take a little bit more time just to make sure that for all the leaves that go down around the curve that I do paste them down. I can see with the paper that I'm using here, which is the Texprint Pro 105 gram, I can see the print through the design, through the paper. I'm not sure if it shows on the video, but I can see where the print is. So I can just make sure that wherever the print is, that needs to be flat and not folded. With the shrink wrap, once you adhere that to your tumbler, we did find that some of the shrink films does tend to stick to the metal objects if it touches the coating of the mug or of the tumbler itself. So you can either use a paper and extra paper and just put that around the tumbler at the bottom. You will then just need to cut slits in, so then you can tape down each slit separately around the tumbler at the bottom, just to make sure that your tumbler is closed so the shrink film doesn't adhere to that. You can also use heat tape. I'm going to use heat tape here because we don't have a lot of open space. When I do smaller prints or single prints, just one side prints or whatever, I will maybe use paper to cover it, to save on the heat tape. So I'm just making sure that all the tumbler is covered. I'm not worried about covering the bottom because it doesn't tend to stick that much on the bottom. Okay, then you will just need to adhere your shrink wrap, which you will just apply with a heat gun. If the shrink wrap does have a seam, I like to align that seam onto the seam of the tumbler I'm pressing as well. That's just what I'm checking here. I like to just quickly go around the whole tumbler, making sure it is shrunk almost everywhere. And then I will just slowly go through the tumbler and make sure that any wrinkles is smoothed out completely. That everywhere where that print is, where you've got your ink that needs to be transferred, is smooth and shrinked. And once it's ready, we will just put it in the oven. Okay, the convection oven, we bake it around 190 to 200 degrees, but get an oven thermometer because the temps are not correct. We'll get that temp, but dial is set at 150. We set our timer just full because we use a cell phone timer, and now we just wait until that reaches between 190 to 200 degrees inside. Our temperature is reached at 190, so we can put the tumbler in. Put it in face up for the first 5 minutes. After 5 minutes are done, then we will turn it around and bake it for another 4 minutes. I will use our cell phone to set the timer for 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes are done, we will turn around the tumbler. Just make sure you have some tongs or a glove because this is hot. So I will just turn it around and then we will bake it for another 4 minutes. Okay, our tumbler is done. It's very hot, so just make sure you've got either a cloth and tongs to hold this, or if you've got heat gloves, you can use it. Mine is just packed away at the moment. I should get it out. So you will want to remove this shrink wrap while it's still hot, because it's still very pliable and stretchy and it's easier to remove. So you just go ahead and yank off as much as you can. If you do start to lift the paper, make sure that you do remove that. You don't want that to fall back to cause any ghosting on your images. So if it starts to lift paper, rather remove the paper instead of leaving it there. This tumbler is still very hot, which means the sublimation process is actually still continuing. So if you just want to remove this as fast as you can without burning yourself. Also, one of the reasons I do put the tumbler laid down is because I did see if I put it straight up, if I put it up with the shrink wrap, especially this white one, does tend to melt inside the tumbler, and you really struggle to get it out from inside on that silver. It's stuck. So once that's all removed, you can just check nothing is stuck, and then you can dip this in water just to have it cool down completely and stop the sublimation process. Otherwise, it takes a while for it to cool down. All our metal tumblers, we do put in water to cool down. It's just water. I took out just normal tap water. I haven't heated it up or anything. It was just tap water straight out of the tap. So then you can just dry off our tumbler. And then it's done. So just to recap, we bake this at 190 to 200 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes on the one side, then we flip it over and do the other side for 4 minutes. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.